Brady Sutliff. How are you, sir?
I'm fine and dandy, Mr. Popko. How are you?
I am. I'm great. I feel honored that I've been able to land you in a room
And
with a microphone to have
a
these
camera.
discussions. Yeah, and on
Oh,
camera. Yeah, I was worried at first. I'm like, this
I'll
guy is
tell
like
you what,
a
I'm very
recluse.
happy with the setup. Everything, I think we're probably just gonna circle jerk ourselves here, starting off strong. So,
That's great.
Oh gosh.
you're
Why
happy
not?
to have me. I'm happy to have Eric. Eric's probably happy to have you. Here
Oh
we go.
my
Round and
God.
round we go.
Yeah, little triangle. We don't want to call it a circle jerk. We call it the triangle.
Okay. Yeah, that's a little bit better.
Something.
My grandmother's gonna hate that.
Triangle of appreciation.
I like that. I like that. Yes,
Yeah.
Here we
That's
go.
as
Triangle.
first grade as it gets.
triangle of truth.
No.
But I feel like Brady, and I hope you don't take offense to this. I said this over the phone, but you are like the NEPA Oliver Anthony. I feel like.
I suppose I could agree with that. I think I like to take a little bit of a harder stance, but
Sure. Well, I
yeah,
won't even.
yeah.
I won't even like say relative like to the music. I mean, kind of, sort of, maybe, but like the way that you've kind of hit the scene was very similar to the way he kind of took over the world. You've taken over northeastern
Nepa.
Pennsylvania. You really have. I mean, so here's what happened with this. I think I saw somebody share something on Facebook or whatever. The next minute I have Rachel Pugh. Not sure if you know who she is. Used to work with her at the Weekender. She texted me the link to the video. She's like, you got to interview this guy on your podcast. And then all day, that day, the next day, and so on and so forth, it's just Brady Sutliff, Shickshinny.
Yeah, how about it? It was I mean, don't get me wrong. I think I said this in the WNEP interview. Like, I know the song's pandering. Like, absolutely. Because it's about a town with 600 people. If I sang a song about your backyard, you'd probably listen to it too, right? Um, but I don't know where it all came from. I didn't reach out to any of these people. They all just kind of saw it going forward. And I mean, they're probably just a little proud of it too. Because I mean, what are the odds in a town that small? You have somebody that can do that, I guess. That sounded so boastful.
Well, I mean, no,
I did not mean it that way.
let's face it. No one's writing songs about Shickshinny, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's be
Allentown, there
honest.
was one guy. I can't remember his name, though. Billy Joel.
May have been Billy Joel, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, Scranton gets thrown in some songs here and there from bands that have come out of the area. But yeah,
Mhm.
no one's writing songs about Shickshinny. And then, well, but by when this airs, your album, is actually streaming right now on the streaming services. I think you actually have hard copies as well.
Sure. I got
Um,
hard copy CDs, and it should be on just about anything you can think of streaming wise.
Yeah, so I want to get into the album, but first I want to find out kind of who Brady Sutliff is. I mean, when we talked on the phone, I found out that you are friends with my brother and or brothers. There's two of them. They both live not too far from where you are. I grew up in Hunlock Creek. They still live out there. But I mean, again, you kind of came out of nowhere. Um, and I feel almost like I'm bad at what I do because all these outlets got you before I did. And I'm supposed to be like the music guy, right? Quote unquote.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm like,
So am
how-
I, bud.
how the hell this happened? So who are you? Where are you from? Outside of
Well,
obviously Shickshinny area.
I had an address that ran through Shickshinny. I didn't live in the town proper. Frankly, I wouldn't have wanted to. I need space. I need to spread my wings. I like running around in the woods and shooting squirrels. But Shickshinny, as far as the address goes, that's a wide swath. When I was 27, yeah, when I was 27, COVID had just hit. I knew I wanted to get a house. It was hard to find houses. I found one in Hunlock Creek, just over the Shickshinny line. So now I'm there, and it's nice. My whole family just lives right around there in that area. And like you said, Hunlock Creek, I mean, you were only a stone's throw over the line from Sweet Valley. It's all just, right there. But yeah, I guess I just, I went to Lake Lehman, just by a hair as well. I was really close to the northwest border. So
was I.
a lot of my, Lake Lehman friends were friends with Dallas folks because they lived kind of close to them. And I was friends with all the Northwest folks, playing out of school sports with them and things like that. And I still talk to a lot of them that day. Even the guy that recorded that music video was from Northwest. We had gotten together sometime around college at Penn State Wilkes-Barre.
13th grade.
Sorry?
13th grade.
13th grade, exactly. Sure did feel like it. And then it never ends because after I got out of there, couldn't find a job with my degree. It was a bachelor's. And then I started an apprenticeship with the insulators over at Local 38. That was for all intents and purposes, a 4-year degree. Ended up being 6 with COVID and people dropping out of the class, but that's neither here nor there. So it's just a continual learning experience. And then as soon as I became a mechanic or a journeyman there, now I'm doing music. So I guess I got 4 years to do this. Maybe at some point I will master one thing. I think that's what I'm getting at.
Was music always part of your life, or did you just like one day decide I'm going to pick up this guitar and see where it goes?
Yeah, I was out next to the old Lehman golf course. I had a friend out there, and he had an electric guitar, and we put distortion on it, and I just kind of started strumming it, and I was like, wow, with distortion, you can do anything, and it always sounds good. Soon after that, I think as I said in the WNEP interview, I borrowed my uncle's guitar, but then I soon basically stole it because I never gave it back to him. He texted me the other day, actually, after he saw that story. He's like, son of a bitch, that's where that guitar went. I say, yeah. And we used it on this record, actually, in the Rampart Rock Rustlin' song. It just has a really cool sound to it. It's an old 1930s archtop harmony. But yeah, just self-taught. Played like just a lot of Nirvana and stuff. That was a lot of the influence growing up, and that's why I'm an awful guitarist. But well, that's not the only reason, but I'll get to that in a second. And I wrote a lot of songs, played around a little bit. I was playing more rock at the time. I wasn't ready. Let's put it that way. I wasn't ready. It was more just messing around in garages and inviting your friends over and stuff like that. Like I said, got in the union and kind of just abandoned all that, even in the later half of college. And then I don't know, some stuff happened in life, and I went back to it, and it's been an absolute godsend and a lifesaver. So I'm having a blast doing it, and I'm happy that people enjoy it, because that's all I really care for. It just want people to be smiling and singing songs about their hometown.
Now, you say that's a lifesaver. Can you elaborate on that?
I don't know what else I would be doing.
Okay.
I mean, I think anybody out there listening, you know that you have to make the most of your job. You probably really, really sucked when you first started, and you just train your brain to be able to deal with it. And that's pretty much how I think a lot of blue collar jobs are. I like the union now. I mean, I have fun at work, but I'd say that took about 3 years to get to that point. I still wanted to quit even when I was halfway done with quote unquote, trade school. But yeah, before I forget, I do want to tell you the story why I'm a bad guitarist. And I'm sorry if I'm rambling.
Not at all. I want to hear it.
It's my strongest attribute. So, when I was 13. I was in 7th grade. I can't remember the teacher's name. You may have had her though. Maybe it was Mildred or something like that. Miss Mildred, Milford, something like that.
That sounds
for science
familiar.
class. Yeah. We had to do a science project and we needed to make something physical with that science project. Well, I figured at this point, I'm like starting to really like guitar and play guitar and whatnot. I'm going to make guitar and I'm just going to see what the temperature difference is, like just whatever I could think of. I just wanted to do it on guitar. It didn't even have to be scientific. It was just more, it was an excuse. So I had to make something with a guitar. Well, I guess I'm just going to make a guitar then. So I got a neck. I couldn't even tell you where, that had all the frets on it and stuff. And then I was going to take some plywood and make the body. Well, guitar bodies are shaped very much like a curvaceous woman.
Yes.
And being 13, I know all the stuff about tools and everything. So while Dad's at work, I go outside and try to cut a curve on a table saw.
Sure.
I found out later something called a jigsaw is what that's supposed to be used when cutting something like that. So anyway, it pulls my finger in.
Oh boy.
My middle finger on my left hand, and it takes the tip off. Thankfully, only the tip, right?
Right.
So I still want to play guitar because I just like it. I'm not trying to practice. I'm just practicing because I want to play. And I had this messed up finger, so I learned how to play guitar without my middle finger. And now I just don't play guitar right. So I think personally, I'm a disabled musician. So
I think you made it work for yourself though.
yeah, well, I just focused on singing, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, I mean, your voice, I mean, it lends itself to, I think, a variety of different genres even. I mean, this record you put out, would you say that's country?
I was dreading this question, and I thought of the only answer I could think of. It's probably not very satisfactory. It's folk lyrics, rock vocals, and country sounds.
Okay, that's fair.
Because it's really, if somebody could tell me what genre this is, I'd be happy to know. Because I'm sure there's something niche, but then you go to the next song and it's like something completely different. The difference between song 1 and song 10.
Yeah.
It's such a stark difference.
Yeah.
And I wrote all these songs in the same year.
Okay.
Probably within the same 2 months. Yeah, I'd have to look at it, but yeah, maybe 2-3 months I wrote all those songs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have a voice for country, and I definitely hear a voice for rock. I had a third one too, but I forget what it was. I did take notes. I just kind of think it's very versatile.
Thank you.
And you're right, though. The songs do change. I mean, there's one part, I mean, Banshee Blues is a great opening song on the album. But there's almost like there could be a Dropkick Murphys type of vibe to some of these songs too.
I can see that.
You're thinking of Rampart.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
My favorite.
Eric showed me a band called Trampled by Turtles.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And we listened to that right before we were really getting into Rampart. And I was
Actually-
like, yes, I need it.
I'm pretty sure. So even the reason I'm here, because this is really a Brady thing, but Brady's afraid to come on air by himself.
Yes.
But you had a big part.
I need to be chaperoned.
All jokes aside, I made this record with you.
Yeah.
I performed a little bit on it. I mean, I will definitely not take credit for anything besides mixing and mastering.
All the drums, half of the bass, all the mixing and mastering.
Yeah.
Some of the good little quirky ideas. Like
Yeah.
I think we both talked about using the jug.
Oh my
That
gosh.
we blew into for
Yeah.
Bucktooth Mountain Clown.
Jug is incredible. The Jug made it on 2 songs, actually. Made it on Rampart too. But
Oh, did it?
yeah, but Rampart started out maybe 20 to 30 BPM slower.
Yeah, it was
we
like,
talked about
135, and we bumped it to 160.
Yeah, we talked about Trampled by Turtles, and I was like, dude, listen how fast this is. And you're like, it makes it like a 2-minute song. And I was like, I don't care.
Yeah, it's 2 minutes and 20 seconds, I think.
Yeah.
That's the only bad part. But other than that,
And I was like, I don't care. It's phenomenal.
I can't stand it slow now because the demo was like 135, and I would share it with my friends all this beforehand. And I kind of George Lucas them, you know, because they all got used to that. So that's what they like, you know. And then I changed it on them, but I think it's growing on everybody. The way
it's so good. I just want to go to a bar so bad and have people banging on the desk as that, or on the bar as that chorus goes on.
Well, maybe we'll get our wish, you know.
Yeah.
We'll have a few people listen to this. They'll come to a show. I know what he wants. I heard him on the Popko Project.
I know what he wants.
Bang, 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 bang,
Get
bang.
together.
It doesn't go pew, pew. It goes bang, 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 bang.
Which actually, if you listen to Rampart and you listen to the chorus of Rampart, there is a lot of percussive banging going on. That was made by taking car keys and 9mm bullets and putting them on my desk here and just punching my desk.
Out of both of our guns or just mine? I can't remember.
I think just yours. And so yeah, there's bullets in that record. There's car keys. There's actually car keys on 2 songs.
Yeah.
There's one on DUI too. But I mean, naturally, it's called DUI.
Sure.
But yeah, so we just banged on this desk to create the majority of that percussion sound, and then I compressed the death out of it and put a bunch of like distortion and saturation, just a whole bunch of crap on it to create that. I'm gonna call it iconic. Iconic.
That sound.
Slamming.
That slamming on the desk sound that he's got. Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, I love
we
that.
just had.
I wouldn't know that. I wouldn't even think about to use those items and
Well, you know that I think that was the best. I've never been in a studio before. I tried to record at home years and years and years ago, and these days doing demos, I just pull out my iPhone and use GarageBand or something. Gets the job done. But being in the studio and just making songs, I mean, this guy over here, probably the most talented musician I know to date. I'm sure there's better out there.
He lives in Shickshinny. He doesn't know many people.
You think that much.
I'll tell you what. I mean, just going back and forth with him on just like silly things like that. I mean, it totally changed the record. Songs that I thought were going to sound one way, just doing it in here and maybe add it. Like the drums on that was in my 20s. There were never any drums on that song. If Eric wasn't a drummer, I would have planned on just hitting the kick drum like on a lot of those songs. And then that would be it. But that little boom, 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 boom. I think it makes it just a little bit more uplifting.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
I think it changed the song because it's just reminiscing about being in your 20s and going back and thinking of all the awful things you did, all the good things you did, so on and so forth. But there was like a bitterness to it, I think, with just the lyrics. But having that little swing in there kind of made it more of a reflection of happiness, I guess. There's another word, but optimism maybe.
Well, yeah, let's really quick. I mean, Eric, owner, operator, producer, drummer, bass player, everything. At Novro
Slide
Studios.
guitar,
just a guy.
Just does it all.
Well, I mean, the Holtzman Effect just released their album. Obviously, you're involved in that. I feel like your studio and your name has been in a lot of places lately. How did you guys connect?
Kyle Taylor.
Yes.
If you know that name.
Kyle Taylor.
Yeah, so Kyle and I have been friends for a long time, and obviously, I guess you guys have been friends for a while.
Kyle shops at the gun shop, which is Midnight Tactical LLC in Sweet Valley, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, shout out.
Plug.
So you know Kyle because of that, and you know Toothless, like my metal band. Well, our first show ever, which was in December of 2015, Kyle's band played, and I met Kyle at that show, and that was kind of like my introduction into the music scene, I guess. Everything that I did prior to that was cover bands, like, I played at Wegmans. So like,
wow, you got to tell us that story.
I mean, there's really not much of a story. I mean, we had a saxophone player whose mom or dad worked at Wegmans, and they were
Okay,
like,
I
"Yeah,
can
you
see
can
this.
play." Anyways, so so I met
Wine
Kyle.
bar. In the wine bar, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah, in like the little cafe section. So yeah, I met Kyle because of that, and then Kyle and I have just kind of stayed in touch over the years. Kyle's a good friend of Derek Nowak, and he sings in So Much Hope. So yeah, we just kind of stayed in touch, and then when we found out Sarah was pregnant, Kyle's kind of hinted to us where he was like, "Hey, I'm probably not far behind," So there's the whole like mutual kind of dad thing going on too, and yeah, and I guess you just talked to him at the gun shop.
Yeah, I just talked to him at the gun shop. Now he cuts trees. It's a task.
Yeah.
in Dallas, and he
Oh.
does very well for himself. I think he's got a billboard, and he wore pit vipers on
Yeah.
it, and it's amazing.
I've
I
seen
love that man. He's
Yeah,
hilarious.
it was by the frozen cow.
But I was just kind of looking online, Google searches, and I'm so happy that I listened to Mr. Taylor because look what we got here now.
We got Rampart Rock Run.
I'll leave it at that.
No, I feel badly now. I do know Kyle. I don't think I knew that was his last name.
Yeah.
Kyle actually came by a house that I owned a few years ago to look at a tree to cut down, and he was in a band, Glow November.
Yep.
Yes.
That was the band that Toothless played with for
Okay.
our first show, which doesn't make any sense if you know what
No.
Toothless sounds like and what Glow November sounded like.
I hate saying small world because I mean, just like the Shickshinny song, none of us ever leave, and we don't want to. But
And if you do leave, you come back.
we all know each other through like maybe less than 4 connections.
Yeah.
It's like if I know this person, that person knows that person. You ever play that game? Yeah, we all know each other in one form or another.
7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon or some shit like that.
Yeah. It's probably what it's called.
It's 4 degrees of NEPA.
Yes, it was all thanks to Mr. Taylor.
Yeah. Thank you, Kyle.
Thanks, Kyle.
You're a beautiful man. Love you.
That was a great band though, Glow November. I enjoyed them. But so little match made in heaven right here. I mean, Brady, did you ever think that you were, would ever sit down in a studio like this and kind of put this all together?
No, I had no intention of doing any of this, but I mean, it is a big part of my story, so I am going to bring the gun shop up at least a couple times.
Let's do it.
all the guys out there and the girls, they're just great people, and they really just got behind me. I just started writing songs, and then one day I sent one to one of them, and they were like, "I didn't know you did that," and I was like, "I don't. I used to a little bit, but I just thought you'd like this." Just writing songs for my friends. And then all summer, they just had to pound it into my head that, I should do something with it. So then that winter, probably only a month or 2 after that, I called Eric and set up a thing and just said, whatever, I'll just blow a bunch of money at a studio. I'll make a really cool record and I'll give it to my friends. and that was the whole plan. So, yeah, that really is it.
Yeah, but now I became such a giant cheerleader. I was like, "Come on, dude!
Oh, everybody,
Music career, let's go!"
everybody is my cheerleader. I'm still at least 20% just want to play for my friends, but you're all dragging, clawing me into doing this, and I
Why not?
appreciate it because I think I need to. I don't know. I got weird stuff up in my head that just doesn't work. But I'm having fun. As long as I'm having fun, I'll keep doing it. So
Well, it feels like, and even listening to the record, it feels like it comes pretty naturally.
it wasn't hard to do.
Honestly, though, it's set.
I don't know how. I'm sorry. Let me try to elaborate, I guess.
It's a genuine record.
Yeah, I
And that's-
wrote like
Thank you. That's
like
the word.
3. I wrote like 3 albums worth of songs this past year and a half now to where we're at. And I play all 3 of those albums at shows because I need enough material to play a show. So if you want to hear the next album that's coming out in 2025 and 2026, come see me live and you'll hear them. But I mean, as far as that goes, at least you got the one right now. 38 minutes. No,
33?
33 minutes. It's
Unless
38 minutes if you buy the CD.
Yeah, if you buy the CD.
Buy the CD, it's 38 minutes because there's a secret song, which isn't so secret because I'm telling everybody about it.
No one does it anymore.
Yeah,
No one does it.
it's called Piebald. It's a great song. It's honestly a bit of a shame that it's not on streaming because I'd like people to hear it as well. Piebald deer, you're familiar with the term.
Yeah.
White deer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there was and I don't care to tell this story. I don't think it's doxing or nothing. I won't use the guy's name, but it was in Perryopolis, south of Pittsburgh. And I want to try to get this straight. This guy shot a piebald buck, a 14-point piebald buck, in between archery and rifle season. So out of season, which I think that might have been debatable at the time of the story. But everybody had agreed that they weren't going to shoot this deer because it's novel, it's special, blah, blah. And I also agree with that. You shoot the white deer, you go directly to hell, do not pass go. That just angered me because as a hunter, I live on deer. I have only eaten deer for the past 4 months. Starting to get sick of it now.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
That's all. That's literally all you ate.
Yeah.
When we made the record.
When we made the record, I brought
100 hours straight.
I brought in a 5-gallon bucket of deer jerky. Just ate that.
That's it.
I wish I was part of that. God damn.
I say
it was a fun time, bud. It was a fun time.
And a deer skull. He brought a deer skull.
Oh yeah, well, because they're okay. So if you want to hear part of that song, you can hear it for free. We'll say without buying the CD. There is at least a minute and a half of it on my Facebook. I think.
Really?
Right? Yeah.
I don't know if you posted it or not.
I think I did, of me holding the deer skull like I was Edgar Allan Poe or some shit. It's on the floorboards,
Yeah.
The telltale heart. I was like, I gotta take the essence of this deer to sing this song.
Right.
And I'll tell you what,
it worked.
It was probably the best, cleanest take out of that whole record. I don't think we did more than 2 takes on that thing.
I actually think you did 1 take, and then you're like, wait a minute. I need the deer. So then you took it, you came in the mixing room, you took it to the tracking room, and then you held it up with your left hand, and you held it like this the whole time, and 1 took the entire song.
Why did you specifically say my left hand?
I don't know. It's just details. It's just details that I
remembers
remember.
that, yes.
Yeah. He's holding it up with his left hand. I mean, I have it on video.
I also know it was my left hand, not only because it's on video, but just because it was a very memorable moment. I felt like a complete asshole. It's like something you hear about, like that, like maybe an old 1970s record, like this is the quirky thing they did in studio. And that was kind of what I was doing. But it worked.
It did. And he won't say this, but no, I know you won't because you're kind of a humble individual in a sense. Pretty much that entire record is like an unedited vocal take.
Okay.
A lot of it was huge chunks, as well as no pitch correction, which I'm not bashing pitch correction. I mean, that's just such a staple in modern production. Everybody's pitch corrected. That's just what you do on records. But this one was different. And I remember he was like, I don't want to use pitch correction.
That was
and I was
one
like,
of the first things I told you.
I was like,
I said if this album isn't real, I don't want to do it.
Well, listen, pitch correction is real.
Sure. I mean, it's still my voice. It's just kind of it's just the crutch of it. Like if I missed 1 note on a really good take, you can go in there and move it around a little bit, which we did do because sometimes
once.
Sometimes I got, really something great. And then just it was a little flat or a little sharp. And we did do that.
Piebald is completely untouched, though. That was 100%. Yeah, 100% natural.
Sick.
1 take, no pitch correction. And man, if you listen to it, it's actually a great story. And I think that's why people can resonate with this record. There's a lot of really good stories
It's
in it.
hard. It's hard to play live though, because it's 5 minutes long.
Yeah.
A little slow. It's 3 verses, 3 choruses. You know, like the whole kind of kicking and dragging stuff. But it's one of those songs that you listen to in your car when you want to hear the whole story, kind of deal. You know.
Yeah,
It's not
like, you gotta listen to
hey
the words.
guys, let's all get down at the bar and listen to Piebald. I do try to play it at shows though, if I feel like it would fit somewhere. You know, if the crowd's really zoned in, I like playing that for them because
Yeah, that
it's a
makes
cool
sense.
song.
It's definitely not like everybody's just drinking and eating and not really paying attention to you kind of song.
Yeah, no.
No, because honestly, I think it does the song a disservice because I think the song is actually phenomenal.
I think it's
Like, I think the story is phenomenal, and the fact that it's 5 minutes.
boring if you can't hear the words.
Yeah,
Which kind of makes sense.
Yeah, but I mean,
'cause you're
think
not
of-
hearing the story. Then
think of the blues, or think of
Yeah.
how many songs which are just
yeah.
but a lot of times it's lyrically oriented, and
Yep.
and people absolutely love the blues. You know, like, people love that kind of music, and it really resonates with people. And I think, that's happening with this record.
Well, yeah, Eric, you did say, the stories, and that's one thing I wrote down is, the storytelling aspect of a lot of these songs, and I really, really enjoyed that. Asa McFadden, that was a
The real story.
See?
okay, yeah. So yeah, are a lot
Like, I
of
don't
these,
think I can talk about that on air. I do talk about it at shows, but just for national security reasons, I can't talk about that story in particular.
That's fine.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'll do it back and listen to that more.
There's a
in depth
grain
now.
of truth in that statement too.
Yeah.
I never tell lies, and I'll tell you why. It's just too exhausting to keep a
Yeah.
lie afloat. I'm just lazy.
I'm the same way. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth trying
It's
to.
just pain. It's just pain in the butt.
It's like, who do I tell what to? It's like, who knows, who doesn't? Like, who do I have to like lie to
Right.
more? You know?
It's the only thing you'll be thinking about for like the rest of your life.
Yeah, exactly.
The burden.
But are a lot of
Oh.
these songs like true stories?
Uh-oh.
I would say, let's see. You don't have my CD in here, do you? I can't remember what's on the record.
Banshee,
I'll
number
pull it.
one.
All right, wait. I think I can do it. So, exaggeration. True, mostly.
Talk about DUI.
The
DUI is
that
the
was in
second
my
song.
20s, the third song.
Yeah.
Exaggeration.
Okay, gotcha. Got it.
Mostly true. Blue collar. That's not really a story.
No, but it hits you in the feels.
I mean, I am an insulator. So, here,
True story.
you know what? I'll put this out there. Some people have asked me, why do you say salamander on a stick?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fair.
I will quash these rumors. See, we meet in a church and we pray to a lizard god at Local 38.
What
That's
in the
Heat and
world is
Frost-
happening?
at the Heat and Frost Insulators. Our emblem is a salamander on a pipe over a fire, and that comes from a Roman myth. I believe it's Roman, could be Greek, that salamanders are impervious to fire, which would make them a great insulator. And that's because the logs were wet or something. They'd throw the logs on the fire, and 10 minutes later, salamanders would run out. I don't know. It's a dumb story. That's what they told me in insulator school. Either that or everybody pulled my leg, and now I'm a real jackass. But I'm fairly certain that is the true story of where that comes from. So they had a salamander on a stick. That's the job I joined. And I was like, that's cool. Let's do that.
Okay.
In actuality, half of my family members, immediate family members and cousins and things, are in the insulators with me. Shout out to Derek, Bobby, Cody, Dad.
Jim, Timmy, Steve.
Yeah. It keeps
Yeah,
going.
yeah.
And then that's not even really counting like fifth cousins and stuff, you know? We're all related.
No,
I'm gonna
it
pull
runs
up the
deep out
list.
there. I know.
Okay, so number 5 then. Right,
Yeah.
I know right after 5, blue collars, Asa McFadden, because
I'm gonna pull up
That's-
the list. Yeah, that's
Asa
right.
McFadden was a guy we worked with. And he no longer works with us. but he's out there.
Here we-
Maybe he's listening, and I hope he likes the song. It is not, in my opinion, to belittle or make fun of this person. I think it's a really sad story. And,
but it is true.
You know, just I wanted to do it justice. I got another song about another coworker, but that's not till the next album. But I got his permission to use his real name. Asa McFadden is a Law and Order name, you know,
Okay.
all the fictional characters or whatever.
Got it.
Shickshinny's next.
Okay, Shickshinny's quite obvious.
Yep.
Shickshinny's a real place.
Real place.
Real place.
Real
it's got a population of 629, I think, as of the 2020 census. I looked this up the other day, right after the music video came out, because I was like, well, I better brush up on my Shickshinny before people start saying I don't even live there.
Yeah.
I did 27 years in a Shickshinny address. I did my time.
Bankos is after.
No. Let's before we
sorry.
go.
In
Hold on.
1950 was Shickshinny's peak with like 2,100, and ever since then it has been falling by 100 or 200 or even 300 people per decade, just less and less and less and less. When the town started taking the census, these are numbers off Wikipedia, so don't take my word for it, but I don't know, maybe it was like the 1890 census or something. There was 1,100 people in that town, twice as much as there is now. There wasn't even that many people in the state. So Shickshinny was popping, baby. And I think that's what lends itself to all that culture and history. The Susquehanna River was the lifeblood of this entire valley, from Bloomsburg all the way up to Laceyville, you know? So.
Since we're on Shickshinny, I wanted to kind of settle in there on that song. I mean, there's the music video.
Let's get cozy.
Let's get cozy in Shickshinny.
Let's rest at the foot of the mountain in an old coal mining town.
That sounds like a lyric from a song.
Yeah.
That sounds.
It's probably okay too.
What was it about Shickshinny? Oh, Arc Productions produced that video, correct?
Yes. That is Ryan Sotelo. I mentioned him before, graduated Northwest, went with him for a hot minute at Penn State Wilkes-Barre. He runs drones with that side of, I don't know if it's like a company or what. It's probably just this proprietorship at the moment. But he's got all the cool gadgets, you know. He's got the drones, he's got the cameras, he does beautiful, beautiful, beautiful wedding photography.
Friends with Travis.
Sorry, my brain just skipped to something.
Yeah,
Which I'm sure Eric probably knows what I'm thinking of. But all right. So anyway, yes.
Yeah, Ryan Sotelo.
Ryan Sotelo, Arc Productions, the wedding photos, great guy. I didn't even pay him for that music video. So produced by we're playing fast and loose with that term. He certainly made it happen, but I didn't even pay him. I intend to. I'm actually currently working at the nuke down at Susquehanna, getting the funds back up. I just bled money these last couple of months doing all this kind of stuff. So we're going to get him set up, and we're going to have him shoot some more music videos, because I want to do Rampart Rock so bad. Get on a boat on the Susky, have some buddies dress up like Indians on the side of the hill, do a Revolutionary War reenactment. Oh my gosh, it's just all the ideas.
All right, so even though you're on Shickshinny, you mentioned you have to kind of tell the backstory of why people are dressing like whatever they're doing.
Oh, like Indians and stuff?
Like what is Rampart Rock Wrestling?
Oh, Rampart Rock Wrestling is that's the next song, isn't it?
It's not Bankos.
No.
We'll skip it. We'll come back.
We're not done with
Let's I think we should just get through this album with True Stories first, and then we can do Shickshinny.
We'll go back.
Would that be all right?
Okay, that's fine with me. However you want to.
Okay.
So I want to talk
even Rampart.
I want to talk specifically about Shickshinny and Bankos, but yes, let's continue.
Perfect. Bankos is a true story. It was a real place. That's it.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Rampart Rock Wrestling. The man named Brady Kreitzer, I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. He does Battlefield, Pennsylvania. I watched everything about this battle, because I was always told right above Bankos, there's those cliff walls that cut into 29. And I was told that settlers were thrown off of that cliff by Indians, like when they were trying to settle the area. That is completely false. Like unequivocally, completely false. So I was like, I need to know what this is then, right? Because I mean, that's just such a cool spot. You can see just all the way out with there. Anyway, there was a battle. It was called the Battle of Rampart Rock. A whole bunch of people from Connecticut were told that they own where we are right now in Pennsylvania by, I'm going to mess all this up. Watch Brady Kreiser. Go give him some love. He's got a YouTube channel and all that stuff. A king that was the son of like maybe 2 kings before told the Connecticut people that Pennsylvania, this latitudinal line was theirs, and the king beforehand said to all the Pennamites, William Penn and them, that everything from here is all theirs. So there was a land dispute for all that time, and there was a big battle on Christmas 1775, where Civil War that started with a swing. I swear, I agonizingly worked on those lyrics probably more than any other song that maybe I've ever done up to this point, because I wanted to be
historically accurate,
as factually accurate as possible. And it was so hard to line it all up and like make things rhyme and tell a linear story instead of just jumping around. Cause much like this interview, it's just very choppy. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep on a straight track, but I told you, I just thought I wanted to come in here and bullshit with you.
That's all. That's what we're doing. That's what I love it. I love it.
So you gotta mention the one word in there that might get misconstrued. Nutmeggers walk on back to CT. I read something that said nutmeggers were a slur for people from Connecticut, because I guess they were involved in the spice trade. I don't know. I mean, this isn't Dune, but you know, of nutmeg.
Yeah, but nutmeggers. It's a really fast song, so sometimes it sounds a little different. I've been told.
Yeah.
God, we actually in the studio, we kind of went over that part a lot, and we're like, you're gonna enunciate as much as possible, and then we got to the point where like,
could have done a better job still.
Well, we got to the point where we were like, every take, it was just like, no, it sounds the same. It's just gonna be what it is.
Yep,
just look up the lyrics. It's a nutmegger.
There are no lyrics posted anywhere.
Oh, never mind. You can't look up the lyrics.
And I wish there were
right now.
We should probably work on that.
The Shickshinny lyrics are posted.
Yeah.
None of the Spotify lyrics are uploaded.
Looks like you got some work to do, my guy.
I'm doing 7 days a week, 12 hours a day for this nuke outage. Leave me alone.
Which is why he's disappearing after dropping Shickshinny, getting a little bit of notoriety, and then disappearing.
See ya.
Bye.
Man, that's the part of the allure, though. Like
we played a couple shows. I should mention my band members. Jeez,
Yes.
What is wrong with me? So as I said, it was pretty much Eric and I in studio, on the back of the CDs, and I believe on Spotify I put the credits in there and whatnot. And Cassie Dyrolf, she also likes to go by Cassie Marie, played the violin. She's wonderful. Throw her some love. Tell her what an amazing solo that was on Shickshinny. She wrote that herself. I couldn't be happier.
the violin.
It's the only part I like listening to now, because I can't stand that song, as you can imagine. I mean, I still love it to death because I always wanted to write that song, just didn't know what to write about. But man, when that solo comes on, that goes straight to max volume.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it just gets me going. I told Eric the first thing I'm going to do. You know what? I'm not going to repeat this part. Never mind. And then I do have a drummer and a bassist now, by the name of Bill Wild playing the drums, and a man named Jeremy Lira playing the bass. And I'm over the moon happy about having the band, because if it was just me playing, you're getting the song, but there's just something missing. When you hear it all with the album, and the violin and everything comes together, it really brings the song to life and makes me look good, frankly.
No, the violin stuck out to me a lot in some of the songs. It was just like, it was a great addition.
Yeah. Absolutely. I will never not play without, at a bare minimum, at least a violin at this point.
Yeah.
And of course I'd always like to have the whole band, but sometimes that can't happen. What's next? Rampart and
Bucktooth.
Bucktooth Mountain Clown. Yeah, the best song on the album, bar none. Fight me. Bucktooth Mountain Clown. I'm not going to tell that story either, but it is a true story nonetheless.
All right. I love it.
One of my friends got called that in high school by another one of his classmates, and it was one of those laughs that just lasts hours, you know?
Yeah.
You in the moment, it's a solid 4 minutes. Your cheeks hurt, your guts hurt. It just sounded so fun to me. I've never heard that term before. You bucktooth mountain clown. I just love it so much. And I went home still laughing about it, maybe 2-3 hours later, and just immediately wrote that song. 20 minutes done. I love that song so much. It's so great.
It is a phenomenal song.
Eric thinks it's the saddest song ever written. Tell them why.
No, hold on. If you listen, I think there is some really sad songs on this record. I think Blue Collar and Bucktooth are probably the top two. Bucktooth, man, if you listen,
I could agree.
if you listen to the lyrics, it sounds like there's a simple kid,
Lenny from Of Mice and Men.
yeah, who's got like,
He's just huge.
maybe just like,
He just wants to pet the rabbit.
yeah, exactly, just like that, you know, from Of Mice and Men. We all went to high school.
Yep.
And you know, in the bridge of it, he says like, he wants to be an author, and whatnot. And it sounds like you're saying his dad was either not supportive and or, if you take it even further, like abusive, to the point where this kid ended up like brain damage because of physical abuse. I'm telling you, it sounds like you're not explicitly saying it, but it sounds like you could be like insinuating it or like hinting at it. And I remember listening to it and I was like, holy crap, man, this song is sad. And he's like, no, it's hilarious. It's, you know, I'm saying Bucktooth Mountain Clown, but I'm just like, I don't know, man, the way that you sing it, the way that it's like written, it just sounds horribly sad. But I do love it.
I like that interpretation because
Yeah.
I just like hearing it, you know, from somebody else kind of interpretation. It's not that at all.
Well, it is to me.
But I see it.
It is to me.
Yeah, and that actually makes me not want to say what I was thinking with those lines because then, you know, it takes away the magic.
Yeah. Everyone's got their
Yeah.
interpretation.
I ain't saying shit about it then. You're close though.
Take it how you will.
You're
Take it how you
real
will.
close. And the last song on the record, my most hated song. And now, from what I've been told, at least with people who bought CDs, I try to stay off the internet. I appreciate all the pouring out of love and the just all the goodwill about the songs, but you know, if I don't see you face to face, we had this conversation, Mr. Popko, about how I wanted to go about this interview.
I know.
And I'm happy how we are now. It was a happy medium with a little in person and all that stuff. But I hated this song, but people that bought the CDs, they have told me that they love this song. It might be their favorite one on the record.
It's a great song.
And if you listen to the guitar, now that I'm listening to it, because I guess I don't absolutely hate it anymore, but like I'm still like, I don't know. It's a nice song. It's just a little queer, that's all. But anyway, I didn't even play the guitar right, and we never went back and fixed it.
Really?
Yeah, the little hammer-ons.
No.
I just missed the hammer-on like both times right in the intro, and I just didn't care.
That's
I
right.
just wanted to be done with this song.
Yeah, that was definitely near the end. You're like, I don't even care. Don't care about this song.
I don't care about the song at all.
Probably
Let's finish.
one taked it, and then we're like, all right, move on. I'm done.
For the record, I think at that time I had been here for 7 days straight, 10 hours a day. And I mean, you think you would love just living in a studio, which I mean, there was parts that I really did love, but 10 hours was a bit of a slog. Like,
Yeah.
I think that magic hour right around noon, Your wife Sarah would make us some hot cocoa or something.
Oh my gosh, it was in December.
The dead of December. It was after deer season, which I planned accordingly.
And Sarah makes some incredible hot chocolate.
That was the best hot chocolate I ever had.
Incredible hot chocolate. So yeah, we were enjoying that. But yeah, you were definitely kind of like mentally done. We ended up taking a day off because I was like, hey, go home and don't think about this.
Yeah.
If you recall.
Yeah.
Because it definitely becomes sometimes.
No, I know that I took a day off because I got a refund and I like that. But that song, because the whole point of what we were talking about here, to reel it back in like 20 minutes ago, was true story or not true story. Verdict is Afterglow. I did not trip out and talk to birds.
Okay.
I did ride my bike and I did see some flowers and want to give them to my mom, but I didn't because I'm a bad person. And I did see a bunch of deer. They just weren't in a creek. They were in a field and they ran from me. They did not ask if they could play with me. So half true.
And then I think with Cassie's addition, it kind of makes it sound like a wedding song.
Okay.
Somebody could totally get married to that song. Totally get married to that song.
You know, the song's just about going outside and just, you know, because I'd be sitting there on the couch. It's sunny out. And I just don't have anything to do outside. I finished all my chores or whatever, and I'm just kind of hanging out, laid off at the time or whatever. It's really nice, bright and sunny out, and I'm just sitting there inside, and I'm like, why don't I go outside? What is wrong with me? Like, it's so nice out. Because then, you know, the next day is going to rain, or you won't see the sun for 4 days or something, you know? So get out there when it's a nice day out, roll your windows down, blast Afterglow, do that.
Yeah. Okay, we made it through the records. We have to go back now to Shickshinny.
Okay, yeah. Shickshinny and Bankos, sir.
Yeah, well, no, Shickshinny, obviously, that's kind of what, you know,
that's the big one.
You know,
because we made a video.
We'll talk about the video, too, because, you know, Arc Productions, they made the video. Obviously, a lot of it had Shickshinny, or maybe all of it did. You know, Shickshinny in it. I think that brewery made an appearance. Obviously,
Five Mountain Brewery.
Yeah.
My only regret is that I didn't get Nino's in, and it was an afterthought, and we had already ran out of light. And that and Lucas's Farmers Market right there too. Both those places, they're just outside of Shickshinny, but they've been staples for that town for as long as I've probably been alive. At maybe even a little longer. Who knows? I couldn't tell you, but. They weren't the town proper, so they just kind of slipped my mind, and it's my biggest regret in that entire video. Yeah. But we did get a train, so you know.
Yeah, you got the train. That was a big moment, right? I think I saw a video like you were hoping.
That was totally unplanned. We did not look up which trains were going to derail that day or nothing, and it just started. The track started to rumble. I didn't even realize it was a train at first. We just kind of heard a noise, and Ryan was like, that's probably a train. I don't know what else it would be. And then it clearly became a train as we saw it barreling around the corner. I mean, like 40 miles an hour, maybe a quarter mile away. So time to get off the tracks. You got to you can't even just go off to the side because we were right next to just a little creek inlet. So you had to go across the bridge. And boy, howdy, I've seen Stand By Me.
Okay. I was going to say, that's literally Stand By Me.
Yeah, I've seen it. So I'm looking at these slats because there's huge holes in this just little tiny bridge, maybe 6 inches apart or so, enough that your foot could get in there. And I'm just like, 1, 2, 3, 4, taking my steps very deliberately. We got on the other side, and then I was like, okay, shit, get the tripod. Let's do this. Oh, and then I had my glasses on singing it because I wasn't even thinking. And I was like, oh, that messes up continuity. Threw my glasses off, and we managed to at least get, I guess, when it was the chorus. Yeah, I think it was a chorus that I did or something. So it was enough. And as soon as that train passed, I looked over at Ryan, and I was just like, God wills it. Man, Deus Volt. Like, this is nuts. That was just the cherry on top. I mean, I'm singing about trains no longer moving coal. That train definitely didn't have any coal on it.
Right.
But, boy, it was a religious experience, I could say. Yeah. I don't even think that's too too verbose. That's literally what it was.
And how long did that video take to do? Just one day?
That was one day. We started at, I think, noon. Went till 5:36 because it was January 27th, I believe. So light was still kind of.
It was the day after my birthday.
Yeah. There was it?
Yeah.
Ah, how about it? You
How about
sending
it?
good vibes my way.
I was.
Please let Brady not mess up
I
tomorrow.
was singing that was in my 20s because I turned 30.
There you go. Oh, yes, that's right. I told him he wasn't allowed to sing that song until he turned 30.
Here I am.
You don't get it, bro. You're only 29. You
Well,
gotta live through your 20s before you can understand my pain. I also wrote that song a month before I turned 30, I think I said. I could probably get an exact date from the demo, but yeah, I cheated too. Who knows? Something crazy might have happened that last month, and I just completely wouldn't have been able to put it in the song.
Brady, did I see your birthday was just a few days ago?
That's correct, sir. I
Yeah.
turned 31. I'm still older than Eric.
Yeah, you're kind of always gonna be.
Yeah, I'm still older than Eric.
Unless you die before me.
March 15th, the Ides of March. E2 Brute.
Well, happy birthday. What the heck?
Well, thank you.
Yeah, happy
I didn't even
belated.
text you or nothing.
Nope. I guess
Well,
not.
today is, just for reference, we're recording this. It's March 21st. I'm not sure exactly when we'll release this episode, but as of right now, his birthday was a few days ago.
Yeah.
So happy belated.
I'm past
I'm a
the
bad friend.
hump. I'm
bad
officially halfway to retirement. I get to retire in 2054 if I'm not mistaken.
There you go.
Yeah, you're on the back nine of life, brother.
Yeah, here we go. Get some. Oh. But yeah, thank you. 30, 31. Don't feel 31. I know that's my age. In arithmetic, but
How do you feel?
Don't feel 31 at all. I know
Younger,
I know
older?
most injuries occur in the next couple of years here because you still feel like you could do things, but then you jump down from that 6-foot truck bed or something
Right.
and you like break your back because your body's just like, why are you doing this to me still? I played a lot of sports when I was younger. I broke my back once. Luckily, I've been breaking too many other bones. So
yeah,
it's I get a little sore crawling around pipes and ducts and all that stuff, but that's nothing compared to these other guys that I'm working with. I mean, they still get up there and do it. I got all the respect in the world for them.
Yeah, it's blue collar, man. That's
Sure is. It pays more than this gig by a wide margin.
Right.
That's why I'm back to work.
yeah. No, and unfortunately, I feel like that's people don't want to do those jobs anymore.
Yeah, I don't want to get too involved into that, but we're we are always hiring. You might go on a list. We haven't had a list though for many years. This is a union job, so you're your own independent contractor, we'll say, and it's just the collective bargaining and all that. But we try to organize guys from commercial shops and stuff, try to get better wages. I mean, I can't believe I'm pitching the union right now, but I mean, it's a great job. Like, I mean, trust me.
Forget this music stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like Eric and I talk about it. We've talked for hours about this stuff. Between how there's part of me that really just wants to just go back, just be an insulator. Maybe just have like fun with this on the side or whatever. Just make some records and call it a day. But yeah, it's a good job. It could always be better, and in numbers, there's power. So
yeah,
join your union, I guess. I don't know.
Hey, there is a musicians union.
Is there?
There is.
Good. There unions. Hey, and I mean, you know what? I don't want to get even a little political, but
Here we go.
Unions have their faults. I understand that. So anybody out there is just like, oh, geez, you see the PennDOT guys just standing there making, $40 an hour or whatever the hell, 13, 25. I don't even know. But yeah, I get it. There's but that's just life, man. There's a guy
That's
in an
everywhere.
office that's not unionized doing the same thing. All he does is sit next to the water cooler all day and hit on Martha, you know?
Right.
Like, get over it.
I have to reference Shickshinny again and that pipe that you have. I mean, let's talk
Do
about
I
that
even-
pipe.
yeah, it's back there.
Yeah, we are on video, right?
Yeah,
Let me grab it.
We talked
Oh,
about
I've-
talked about Brady Sutliff becomes Sutliff.
Would you let me smoke in here for
No,
this thing?
absolutely not. No.
Nope,
No
smoking.
smoking in the
yeah,
studio.
It's discrimination, man.
No.
There's like 2 bars you can smoke in Pennsylvania, and that's it. So
And they're all in
there we
Shickshinny.
go. There's
Yep.
a pipe. Woo! Yeah, I started smoking a pipe like 7 years ago, and I shouldn't even say this because the government will probably change it. Boy, do I love the government. They don't tax pipe tobacco the same as cigarette tobacco, so it is purely for financial reasons. It's also just way nicer, but originally it's purely for financial reasons. It's like a quarter of the price. I mean,
Wow.
cigarette packs are up to $10 a pop now. With $10 of pipe tobacco, I could probably smoke all week. You know,
Right.
So don't have the. I'm not advocating pipe smoking. I don't have super hard cravings in the morning.
Yeah,
It just smells nicer.
it does smell nice.
I know a lot of people that wouldn't date a smoker,
Me,
but
I wouldn't date you.
but somebody who smokes a pipe, maybe they'll make an exception.
My uncles did. And maybe I know my one still does. But yeah, they
You
smoke
get that
pipes.
a lot. It's usually, oh, my grandpa, I love that smell. You
Yeah.
remind me. All
Yeah.
that
You
stuff.
remind me of my grandpa.
Yeah, I've gotten that at least a dozen times.
Yeah.
I got it today, I think, actually.
Maybe you'll bring pipe smoking back. Like,
I kind of hope not, though, because then they'll change the tax bracket on me.
yeah, you're
Anything
right.
that's fun, they're going to ruin.
Anything popular. Like, oh man, we got
Yeah.
all these pipe smokers. Like,
Yeah, right?
It'd be like,
I mean, they did it with Juul and all that stuff. As soon as vaping got popular, it was like, oh, bye. I mean,
Yeah.
they completely just banned it outright, prohibition and stuff.
that's not the one that I know.
No, I have several. This is my daily. I don't care if it gets, I don't know, thrown in the goddamn lake or something. I don't know. I don't care.
is that the pipe from the video though?
No, the pipe
That's
from
not.
the video
Okay,
is
intricate.
I don't even know who made it. I think it's an old German pipe. It's just really cool. The bottom unscrews,
Yeah.
so like all the juice and the tar and stuff sits there, so it don't come back up the stem, which is made of horn, and then
Right.
it's got like that little lid on the top.
Yeah,
And it's just awesome.
it was.
It's just that. And actually, I asked Ryan because I brought 2. I brought one that was really, really pointy. it just kind of just looks cool. And I brought that one, and he said, "That's the one. That's the old timey pipe." And I said,
Yeah.
"You know what? You're right. That's it."
Well, I thought my eyes were like deceiving me because that was when you pulled it out. You're like, oh yeah, I had the pipe, and I'm like, that's not the pipe I saw.
No.
Yeah.
I don't take that one out of the house. It's very old.
Yeah, that's a sweet pipe.
That the lid is just about falling off. It's all just like hand soldered type of
Yeah.
stuff, So
But when the hat and pipe are become part of you, you are known as Sutliff.
that is correct.
You're
I don.
like Superman.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is the visage. I
Yeah,
think
cape.
it's the
That'd be sweet.
right visage.
What-
Visage or visage?
I don't know.
It's probably visage.
Quick, we need someone to sing about Shickshinny. I've got
Collins.
you.
Sutliff will save us.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I do want to stress nobody asked me to do any of this, so I'm sorry, everybody.
Well,
There
let's
was a
talk.
couple people that would reach out and be like, "Well, that place looks awesome and stuff." It's like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Shickshinny, but sit in the town proper. It's a poor town. It's an old, poor coal mining town. That's what it is. It's the beauty around Shickshinny and the land that I'm singing about.
Well, I think out there, and I grew up in Humlock Creek, and there's just this certain kind of person that like is born there, lives there, and
Is
they're
there?
just good people. Like they're the people that will like literally, if they're passing you in a car and you're off the road in a ditch, they're stopping and they're helping you out.
Yeah, every single person is going to stop. It's going to become annoying.
Right?
I've
You're like,
been there.
I'm good. I'm good.
Yep, you are the 17th person, and that was for the last hour because some of those roads aren't traveled too often. The road you grew up on, I don't know, maybe 30 cars a day.
Yeah.
The road I was on, I can't say what it is because I don't want to dox myself because I had thought of that beforehand. I was like, boy, I've never recorded a conversation. I better watch.
Yeah.
But that road probably had 10 on it a day, and that's probably including the bus.
Yeah.
So it's nice though. I mean, that's what people live out there for. They don't want to be bothered by the hustle and bustle of the town. They just want to have their kids, raise their family. Maybe they got to drive 30 minutes to the grocery store, but it's 100% worth it to them, and it's 100% worth it to me. Running around the woods, like I said, shooting squirrels and deer, and just quad riding or four-wheeler riding for you other folks in Pennsylvania, and I don't know what else you call it, but yeah, that just good old-fashioned fun. I am of the generation, just barely, that didn't really have the internet growing up. I had AIM, and we had dial-up connection eventually out there in the sticks at like 5 kilobits per second. I'm sure a lot of listeners know the kilobits and megabits thing. I do sometimes have to explain it to the older folks, but it's really, 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 really slow. Instead of taking 2 seconds to download a song, it used to take a half hour, and it might not be the song you wanted.
Right. Might be longer.
Yes.
I mean, when I got the internet, it may have been longer.
Yeah. And so, I mean, we still went outside and stuff. So I really do feel like just part of the last generation that just only did stuff outdoors, because that's all there really was. I mean, sure, we had TV and the SNES, but it wasn't like having a phone in your hand that could do anything forever. I am an old person. Eric will tell you this. I have grandfather clocks in my house, stereo cabinets from Magnavox from the 70s. I smoke a pipe. I'm just an old curmudgeon, I hide it with my hilarity.
I am envious of you to be able to continue living like that. I really am. It's
I didn't have social media for 7 years. He just mentioned I should get an Instagram tonight. Maybe I will.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I get what you're saying though, because I mean, like, if you
find out about this record,
nobody would have known about Shickshinny, really, because I've been singing that song for months in bars and stuff. But it's
listen. The internet is
people don't go outside anymore. Go to live shows, people. Go to live shows. I don't care. You never heard of that person? Get down there, sit for a half hour. You don't like them? Never go see him again. But get out there.
Listen, the internet is a terrible place, but it's also a wonderful tool.
Sure is.
And if it wasn't for the internet, how many things would I enjoy thoroughly that I would never know? I mean, one of my favorite bands is no, I don't really watch anime, but no, I mean, like, my favorite bands are I found them because of online.
Yep.
I would argue literally everybody found their favorite band because of the internet.
I would say that is 100% true these days.
Yeah.
Anybody, I think, over 40, their favorite band probably came out in the 90s or the 80s. But yeah, I would agree with you. Most of the people that I'm listening to,
and you heard it on the radio,
they're from all over the place.
Yeah.
Some have a couple thousand streams. Some have millions. It's just you can find whatever you want, man. Music is everywhere. You just gotta want to go out and look for it, I suppose.
And that's why I want you to actually use the internet, you old man, to get this record out and show people that this is a good record. It's worth listening to.
I have a Facebook now. That is plenty.
Facebook to me feels like you have more of a chance of being doxxed.
Probably. But, I'm not too worried about that either. So, I mean, if it happens to me personally, I'm fine with it.
Oh, okay.
Whatever. Come get me.
Come get me.
Right.
Listen, he's got 6 rounds and he's gonna make them count.
Make them count. Yeah. You shouldn't be doing that. He's just a boy. For those of you who don't get that reference, that was from Sling Blade. It's a wonderful movie. Go take a watch. It's rated R.
Well, Eric, I mean,
I don't know.
I think it is. Yeah.
I don't know either.
Billy Bob Thornton.
I don't know either. Eric, you've kind of you seem to have taken Brady under your wing a bit. You just referenced, trying
Sure
to get him
thing.
on Instagram, and
A little bit.
he had to twist his arm to do this interview, and I appreciate that. Thank you again.
I'm happy I'm doing it. This is
Yeah, see? So
I'm happy we're having fun. That's
Here's
what
what-
I want to do.
here's the thing. Brady has not really done this, and I've been told over the last few weeks that everything that I told him would happen
Yeah.
has been happening. And it's like, well, I kind of do this and I kind of know what's going to happen.
Right.
And
However,
I knew that this would be an enjoyable experience.
but also me doing like quote unquote marketing of this song in this ass backwards manner of like, oh, you can't see me because like I'm not gonna do it, and like so on and so forth, somehow has retroactively gone backwards, like that South Park episode where Eric Cartman buys an amusement park and he says nobody's allowed to come, which only makes people want to come more. Like a little bit of that's going on here, and I don't
Right.
mean to do that. I want people to hear the album. It's just I want to go about it in the correct way of getting it out there. And Eric and I have talked about this, and I won't elaborate on it further because it gets deep.
There's,
But,
there's a lot.
But
But
Yeah,
I'm only
of
here
course.
fighting
Eric
for
is
him
absolutely a mentor. I'll
because
leave it at that.
I believe in the music and the record, because I as Andrew and I talk on our podcast a lot about like authenticity and genuineness and like longevity and what actually keeps people around. And like there's songs that are cool that come and go, and sometimes they come and go within a week,
Mhm.
and it's like,
I still love Kesha's Timber. How dare you?
okay.
I did too.
And I mean, now Kesha had a cult following. Sarah knows like every Kesha song. It doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
The point is, I as I'm making this record and getting acquainted with these songs, I'm thinking like there's a genuine human connection that could be made here that people can like actually thoroughly enjoy. And I think we lose that again. Like, as I said, the internet can be a very terrible place. A lot of times you lose genuine connection and you lose
locality.
Yeah.
The world is a lot bigger on the internet. I think this record makes it really, really small. In fact, about 4 square miles. Shickshinny to Nanacoke, to the top of the cliff at Nanacoke, back to my house.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people who see what other people do on the internet and they're like, well, I'm just going to copy that. I'm going to do that. And there's like, I mean, everybody can think of it, and I'm not going to name any bands, but everyone can think of these bands that are carbon copies of every other band, and it feels so disgenuine, and it feels like if you would have taken like 30 of these bands and put one of the vocalists over everyone, it would have been the same band. Like, it didn't matter, and I feel like you can't do that with this record, and I feel like there's a genuineness to this record. Like, it's so authentic, if you will, that I think getting it in people's ears is probably going to get you a career. I'm serious. I mean, you there's something
Well,
I think unspoken or not able to be described with words that is here.
I just want people to enjoy it. And by the way, thank you. Very kind words, sir.
Oh.
This is why he's my boy.
Well, they have to hear it. To
I
enjoy it,
haven't
right?
mentioned that he is my Paul Simon.
Oh.
Paul Simon was kind of more the guy in the chair, if you will, for Simon and Garfunkel, and that would make me the crazy guy with the hair, Garfunkel. And I called him Paul Simon probably day 3.
Yeah.
It's like, you are my
Probably.
Paul Simon. Holy crap!
Probably.
Yeah, and that's why he is, because it works when the guy you're working with believes in it too, because
Right. Of course.
Eric gives his heart into every single thing he records. He loves all music, and I'll never understand that. I can't. I hate jazz, and he came up with the drums on Bucktooth, that little thing with the snare drum on
Yeah.
Bucktooth Mountain Clown.
Yeah.
And that's a jazz beat, I'm told.
It just fit, man.
I mean, I would have never, ever in a million years thought of that, because jazz brings me to tears. I love classical music, so it's not like it's just like a non-vocal thing. It's just I hate jazz. There's a couple others, but we'll leave them alone because they're modern, and I don't want to offend anybody.
That's okay.
Yeah,
But no, I don't know. I feel like I see your vision, and I just try to expand a little bit on it.
My vision is to tell one story about every square inch of land in Northeast Pennsylvania and then die.
I like that.
We're moving out west next. It's going to be out at State College in Pittsburgh.
We need a guy.
I got a little bit about North Central Pennsylvania on the next record.
Yeah, on the next one.
Lake Hammond. But the next record, actually, I think the way I'm going to structure it is actually, I haven't talked to you about this yet, but I was actually thinking of doing a double album. Just saying, screw it. Just like,
this is why he's Brady.
Putting a double album together just for shits.
Eric's like, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah, right. It'll be just, I don't know, probably, because it's going to be really hard to whittle it down to like 10 or 11 again. And that means I want to do like at least 13. And at that point, well, screw it. Just make it 18.
Just do 20.
Yeah. Just do 50.
Yeah.
50's too much. Even 20's too much. If you load it too big, then it's just like, it's daunting.
And then you need two vinyls because you can't bid it on the one, because I'm going to force him to make vinyls because I need it for my wall.
I was thinking of that too. I was like, I got to keep track of my time here because I won't be able to put it on a vinyl. I'll need to actually put a double album together because it won't fit on a 33 RPM.
Exactly. You got 40 minutes, 20 minutes each side.
Yep. And
well, before we tangent even more,
Johnny said, remember how we tangent off onto that.
Johnny said Banco's, and we haven't gotten to Banco's yet, and I do want you to kind of.
All right. My dad always took me to Banco's. It was a biker bar. My brother and I think even maybe my youngest brother, at least a few times, went there when it was the restaurant side had really taken off and whatnot. I mean, that food was just amazing. You could never beat it. I mean, $14 for that surf and turf burger with that huge lump of crab meat on it. I mean, oh boy. even if you adjust for inflation, it was probably still only like $19 today, and it'd be $35 anywhere else you go. Mm-hmm. Don't know how he did it. Well, I do, but anyway. So I loved all the bartenders there. I was really good friends with all of them. We went to concerts sometimes together. Still talk to the one that's in the song, Miss Caitlin. I was so excited to give her that song. I was like, you made it in the track. Yeah. But yeah, my mother hated the place because it was just, you could still smoke in restaurants, at least for a little bit in there. And then you could still smoke in the bar. And it was just a biker bar with a rough and tough crowd, which it really wasn't. Like,
it wasn't tough.
Just like in the song, it was Dallas to Benton. I seen people that live in those developments up there with $2 million houses, and I seen your local meth head there. I mean, it was just like, it was everybody just like, that's the place to be. It was the perfect little just meeting point right there on the river. Gosh, just what a wonderful place. And a person told me to write a song about that, and I was like, I don't know what to say. And I think right after the nuke last year, so I would have wrote the song in like late April. It just came to me, and the whole thing just poured out, and it was perfect.
It was. I'm very familiar with Banco's. Spent a lot of time. I wouldn't say a lot of time, but enough time. Great food. Always some great entertainment. My wife and I had many great times there. I always joked, maybe in poor taste, but I remember, so the flood happened again. I think it got flooded in 2011. And then he added that boat to the side of the building.
Dude, Jeff Bankovich was a meme lord. Like the fact that a flood came through, then he's just like, better buy a boat so we can all get on it before we watch it. Like that's
what I said.
That's like such a meme lord move.
Yeah, he's getting ready for the next one,
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was before it was, put together. So I'm just like, I thought he was just like, just in case, like, and then he turned it into part of the restaurant, which was really cool. Like you sat and ate in a boat, which is like, what a cool idea.
It went with the whole pirate theme and everything. There. It was perfect. It was just a bunch of swashbuckling scallywags over there, pulling into port there in West Nanacoke.
Yeah.
I feel like I missed out. I've never been to Banco's.
I mean, hell, even I missed out a little bit. I turned 21, and then I think he died 4 years later,
Yeah.
something like that. I mean, I spent a lot of time there in those 4 years because it didn't matter what you looked like, when it was. You could just, like I said, it was the place. It was the place to go.
Yeah.
And the Country Crab was also out
Right.
there next to
It's
us.
The shame though too. Well, the Country Crab used to be shit.
Jim
My
Mill.
dad used to go. My dad passed away back to 2005, but my dad would go. His spots were the Village Tavern, which I think is
Yep.
still open and operating, and the crab place was
The Jim Mill.
Jim Mill. That's right.
Yep. Village Tavern's still open. Jim Mill is still just a broken window saying Country Crab on it.
That's
the
unfortunate.
Old Tavern. That's a new name. Are you familiar with Old Tavern?
Is that the Hunlock Creek Tavern?
Yeah, just
Formerly known
down
as-
like tucked in there on that hill, right?
Yeah.
That is Stone Creek now.
Stone Creek, right.
I played down there a couple times. They always have live music, and they strive for originals on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Go, get out there. Go listen to original music.
Where did I see you last?
Pisano's Winery.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was an awesome place. I'm sure you're familiar with that too.
Yeah.
That's just down 29. But yeah, all those places. I mean, I'm trying to reach out a little further because I have been playing just like 10 minutes down the road and stuff,
Right.
which isn't very conducive to a career. I
Well,
guess.
that's probably why I haven't heard of you before now too. Just because,
Right.
like,
Well, I mean, there's a lot of guys from the Union Hall. They're like, hey, come on up here to Wilkes-Barre and play. And I'm just like, where? Like, I'm just going to get shoved in a corner in a bar somewhere. Like, I mean,
yeah.
I want to play like a real show. I feel like I did my time back in the day. And
Man, there used to be some interesting, like, cool spots that I played at all the time in Wilkes-Barre, and unfortunately have shut down.
Yeah.
Carl Hall shut down. The other side sort of shut down. The other side got.
oh, dude, Outsiders would have been amazing. That
Oh,
would have
yeah,
been
you
my
would've
number
killed
one
there.
pick for Wilkes-Barre. I would have went to Outsiders.
No.
You would have killed there. Yeah. That would have
Dude, Bankos would have murdered there. Everybody would have lost their shit, bro.
Yeah. Well, it's a shame that Banco's is just sitting there rotting. Like, just terrible.
Yeah. Well, I've heard random things every now and again of this person bought it. Oh, now it's somebody from New York that put in a bid or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to comment on it because it's just so up in the air. As far as I know, nothing's really happening.
Yeah.
It's probably a scary risk because of flooding.
Yeah, well, the thing is you can't buy flood insurance for it because it's so close to the river. So you have to pay it all in cash, which it has a bunch of liens against it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And, it's just,
It's going to be there.
it's a money hole, and it still will never be Bankos again.
Right.
I mean, who knows? It could turn into something worse than Bankos that just makes us all hate everything about West Nanico.
TGI Fridays.
let dead dogs die.
Yeah.
We
I just
should
saw
take
there.
the little prawn up top, put in a museum.
I would
Yes.
I would actually love to pilfer Bankos, but I'm pretty sure it has been pilfered
Yeah.
a good margin. So
Well,
because those doors have, as far as I know, those doors have just been open since
Oh,
he
wow.
died. Because you could walk in there right after he died for a good long while, and all the Halloween decorations were still up, which is super spooky.
Right. Well, I saw that the Flamingo Diner is just got approved, or the funding for that to be torn down just happened. So that'll be coming up soon.
Ah,
And
yeah, because that fire, what was that, about a year and a half ago?
yeah.
Took them out, and I had never gone.
Is that like down the road here?
It's right next to the titty bar.
Yeah.
Well,
Down
so
And
along with
when
that,
now I'm singing about the titty bar, and down the street from the titty bar there was a pink flamingo with a fire.
so also, being raised is the it's carousel, right?
Carousel, Tilbury. Oh wait, I think
Tilbury.
I can do this in order.
Oh
Let me
my
try.
gosh.
All right, Tilbury, Carousel, Foreplay, That might be early. Tattletales.
Yes.
I think there was one more that I'm forgetting. But
I
I
forgot it was Tattletales.
I
for a minute.
believe they're closed though. If I'm not maybe they're open. I don't know. I don't visit those type of places.
Well, it's being torn down.
But I've been driven past it for like, my entire life.
Yeah.
Well, so
Yeah,
I was
had to go to Banco's.
Yep.
I was in there maybe 4 times, 5 times for business. I used to work for the Weekender back in the day when it was amazing.
Roger that.
Awesome. So his name was Jules. Jules.
I heard that through his speakers.
I'm
Jules,
sorry. Oh,
I forget his last name, but so he placed ads in the Weekender. So I'd go there and collect the money and shit like that.
Yeah.
And there's the Getaway that's down there somewhere too.
Yes. Yeah, that Getaway. I always forget about
I
that.
actually know who.
Just a hole in the wall because everybody goes around, like even coming up here to Sawyersville, you hit West Nanacoke and you'd stay in the right lane and go around up into Plymouth instead of going straight through there.
Right.
Nobody ever drives past. You got to know where that place is.
No, I was reached out to by a woman who
I think you
like
told me this.
books
Yeah.
bands,
Yeah.
and at the time she was talking about Toothless playing there, and I was like, we are not the demographic to be playing. I was like, I don't know if
Get
you
it.
yeah, I was like, I don't know if you know what Toothless sounds like, but we only got like 30 minutes of music, and it ain't something you're gonna like.
I hope they play Bankos for the girls up there. I'd like to see a stripper dance to Bankos. What does that even look like?
I don't know. Let's find out. Let's find out.
DM me.
Yeah. We'll make it happen.
Please, Louise, don't DM me. I don't want to see your stuff. All right. OnlyFans is wrong, women. Get off of it.
Oh my
Sick of this. Taking a hard
Wink,
stance here.
Wink. Wink.
No, I'm
Don't.
legit here. Get off.
Don't you dare.
Turn your cell phones off. It's bad for you. Go
Don't
find a
you
nice
dare
church boy.
DM me. I'll be on Instagram tomorrow. Don't find me at Brady Sutliff.
Damn it.
Go outside
All
and pick some
right.
flowers for your mom.
Moving on.
My ex handle is not Brady Sutliff. Don't contact me.
Someone's gonna take that on
They
Instagram,
are.
and you're not gonna get it.
It's only going to be one. Whatever.
Oh,
I'll be
man.
the first, Brady.
So what's next, man? Like, what's the plan? I know you're gonna disappear for I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to be gone until basically mid-May. The outage ends a little sooner than that, but I want to get back with the band and, just re-tighten up, get the gears flowing again. Honestly, I might still have to work for a little bit. I mean, I'm trying to work as little as possible without like going into poverty and like losing my house. It's like I'm just riding that white line there. So we'll see how much I have to work, but I plan on just whacking this summer hard. As many shows as I can possibly play, going everywhere, blah, blah, doing that. I mean, I guess.
Listen, I'm gonna
That's what I'm gonna
try
do.
to get him to do an official album release show.
Yeah. Oh,
Once
so
you come back,
I haven't even messaged this lady yet, so I'm probably blowing her up a little bit in case, I don't know, whatever happens here. But I would actually really like to do an album release at Pisano's. I liked that place a lot. It can hold 400, maybe 500 people if they flow out onto the road a little bit. But that'll be just a big old party. We'll get some other bands up there. We'll have the vinyls.
Allison,
and that'd probably be like, I'm hoping it'd be like August.
oh geez,
Somewhere in there.
pushing
So,
real far out.
well, I'm like also really late in even asking. So,
Yeah,
and it takes 2 months to make the vinyls.
and I gotta
I've paid
practice.
for all the lead time because I don't have enough money. I didn't even have enough money to print these CDs, man. I spent every single dollar I've ever saved, like just staying laid off, writing songs, coming to the studio. Because a little bit behind that, a part of why I made this record, I was just like, what the hell am I doing with my life? I'm a 30-year-old unmarried single guy just working for the union, making this money, paying off my house, and just okay, I guess I'll die in 30 years. The fuck? Like, you know. So I had to do something. So I feel like at least one album is leaving at least a mark. I mean, I feel like Shickshinny will probably live on far past my lifetime, hopefully.
Amen, brother.
Well, it's funny because Eric and I, there's a recorded podcast waiting to come out with So Much Hope Buried, which Eric is in, and we talked about that, is, you know, kind of leaving a legacy, and like, you know, music and these podcasts that I do and things like that will live on far longer than we will, and it'll be something our kids can listen to and watch and all that kind of stuff. Or, you know, in your case, you know, if you have a family down the road, or
I'm having a family down the road.
Family, you know, just family, friends, all that.
I
kind
can
of stuff,
assure you of that.
He's ready.
And I will not speak on it further.
Okay.
You heard it here, folks.
It's gonna happen. But yeah, there's something cool about you know, art that lives on past us.
I mean, somebody can listen to this later and understand who you are. You could be dead and never able to speak to someone again, and they can listen to your music and get an idea, at least, of the type of person you were.
Man, I remember the first time I heard Chopin, and I knew what note he was going to play next. It was the weirdest feeling. And that was probably the first time I ever just like immediately had to listen to every single thing somebody had ever created. I think I was like maybe 16 at the time. And just every note on that piano, Nocturne specifically, was just like, I knew he was going to play that. This is amazing. Yeah, like you're saying, I think it absolutely transcends time. I bet we would have been friends, you know? Friedrich, give me a call, brother.
Well, we'll have to get rolling on that album release show.
Yeah, I got to practice up on my jug.
Yeah.
I'm going to be there.
I did talk to the, I think maybe I can have that jug. So it's not my jug. It's somebody else's. He's currently in New York. And
you're welcome for cleaning it.
Right. Yes.
So
I told him, and I was like, listen, bud. I was like, because it's like a really old mason jug. Like,
it's huge.
You know,
and very heavy.
20 gallon. I mean, it's gigantic. It's heavy. Anyway, I really, really want it because I put it on the record, obviously. And he's like, I don't know if I can give it to you. I think that might have been my grandmother's or something. I will do anything for it. I was like, I'll give you a free CD. He's like, I don't know. It's like, well, I mean, I know it's going to be on Spotify, so like, I understand your decision.
Like, it's funny. Brady just kind of takes people's instruments. This is mine now. Uncle's guitar.
That is my thing, isn't it? I'm telling you, I'm the most real country musician out there, brother. I told Eric, maybe I can't iterate how this album was funded in part. Maybe I shouldn't, because I think I shouldn't say how this album was funded, other than it dealt with firearms, and it was perfect and awesome. So like, some of the money from that came to that. Jesus, that sounds way worse.
It sounds way worse. It sounds like,
you know what,
like the cartel.
I'm leaving it like that though.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not that bad, ladies and gentlemen. It's for other stuff. Anyway, I got my first ticket on a motorcycle, also at 15 years old, because I stole my brother's motorcycle that my dad had just bought him.
Oh my gosh.
And it was sputtering out a little bit there at the Four Corners. What am I thinking? Geez, not Honeywell Corner, Muhlenberg Corners.
Muhlenberg, yeah.
Yeah, it was sputtering out there. So I went through the light. Lo and behold, there's a dang undercover cop sitting there trying to catch people going through the light. Well, I'm 15, so I'm clearly unlicensed, and I'm on a motorcycle, doubly unlicensed. And that was the first ticket I got. I tried to work up tears, and he wasn't having it, man. He gave it to me. I was so upset. But, you know, I don't remember my parents being that angry about it, which is odd. I'll have to ask them.
That shit out there, though, that's kind of like
Yeah, that's what I
Par
mean.
for the
I
course.
might as well have been riding a dirt bike. I probably would have got away.
Right, exactly. Well, it's funny you
But
should say that
yeah,
because
stealing guitars, stealing motorcycles, guns and ammo.
I
It's all from his
I'm-
family, though.
I mentioned Rachel Pugh before.
Yeah, Weekender.
Weekender, yep. Her brother actually owns the house on the corner there.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard something. Oh, the one with the nice gingerbread cookie cutter stuff, all
I
that.
think so. Yeah, it's like white.
Love that house. That's such a pretty house.
Yeah,
Some of those old houses out there, I would absolutely ransack for
yeah.
just those little frills that go on the bottom of porches and things.
There
They're
you go
gorgeous.
again. Just taking shit. You just want to steal it all.
I'm just saying, man. Well, because they don't make it no more. You know the buildings around here,
Taking
dude. Every building on River Street in Wilkes-Barre, it's the pretty. I mean, you
Yeah.
wouldn't even think the town is looking in other types of ways in other spots.
Yeah.
Judging on that, because it's all that old architecture.
Yeah.
I mean, what would a stone church cost these days?
Oh my gosh.
And how could you get the whole town to build it like they did back then? You
Right.
know, like gosh, it just all that old stuff. It's just so pretty, and it just kills me when I see some of these older Victorian homes getting a wall put right through the middle of them,
Right.
so that they can turn it into multifamily housing.
Yep.
And just moving on.
It's hard. It's hard. You know, it's like back. I don't even know. I don't know enough about that kind of stuff, but I just assume it's probably, you know, imagine trying to heat those things these days.
Oh yeah.
You know,
We actually
things.
shot a music video in the old Iram Temple, if you know
Yes.
where that is.
Yep.
In Wilkes-Barre on the same side as like where Abide is, the coffee shop.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. It was absolutely massive. And I'm just like, yeah, how do you keep it up? And I actually think they're trying to restore it right
They
now.
are. Yeah.
Well, if they need any insulation, I know
I know a guy.
I know a gaggle of guys. Some buckaroos on the sea and never crew.
I can't think of the word buckaroo without thinking of you anymore. I call Elliot that all the time.
I want you to only think of me when you think of buckaroos.
Yeah.
That is exactly
Yeah.
what I am.
I was like, come on, buckaroo, time for bed.
Yeehaw!
I
You're
used to
out
shoot.
now,
I used to shoot darts in a
Mhm.
traveling dart league around the area, around Plains, anyways. And they what do you call it? Give it a buckaroo. Fuck, I'm screwing this up. I feel like those guys, if they were like shot the first dart and it made it in the number, they would like, you know, they would say like give it a sister or like give it a buckaroo or something. I don't know. It was just weird.
I'm sure that's probably right.
Give it a
There's
buckaroo.
one guy. You know what? Shout out to Alex Kowalczyk. He loves darts, and from what I can tell on Snapchat, he is quite good, and he's been winning quite well. So I'll have to ask him about that.
What's
that
his name?
terminology? Alex Kowalczyk.
I might know him.
I think he's kind of up near you now from where you are currently located. I think he's up near you
Yes, I'm familiar.
now. So you might have seen him at a league or something. But I also think he used to shoot darts like right around this area here in
yes,
Sawyersville address.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, Sawyersville address.
I am familiar with him. He's a Niners fan, isn't he?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I think we know the same person.
It's him. I'm creeping on
Small
his
world.
Facebook. One degree of separation. Yep. Yeah. I'm
2
familiar.
degrees of separation with Mr. Popko.
Yep. Yeah, we've shot darts together. Not on the same team, but in the same league. We've been to. I like to make fun. We'd have the outing for the dart party was they always called it a clam bake, but there were never any clams. I don't understand that. But yeah,
It was oysters.
Yeah, right.
there's no seafood here. What are we talking about?
I love how smooth you are. It's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. You know.
Right off the top of his head. What a clever guy.
Well, hey man, I know you've got a long drive ahead of you to head home, and I'm sure I don't know Eric's plans this evening, but he's got a young child and he's probably needs some sleep.
My
He
baby.
sure does. I planned on this going a good amount of time, so I got a little extra sleep yesterday, so I'm
Good.
fine. We're still on 8s tomorrow. It's Friday. we're just gonna hang out. Just kidding. I'm gonna work super hard in case any plant people listen to this in the future. But yeah, I'll tell you what. First podcast, wonderful. Loved it, bud. This is great.
Well,
All we
I'm
did was
glad-
bullshit. I mean,
Yeah.
and we talked about the album. So
Well, I told you that's what would happen. So
Yeah.
much like Eric, he tells you things. I told you the same thing. But also, so when you're like, it was funny because for those listening, I said like to Brady, I said, yeah, it's not, it's over Zoom. He's like, whoa, it's over Zoom. He's like, that changes a lot of things. And I'm like,
I'm an old guy.
I
I wanted
okay.
to hit him when he called
I
me
said,
about
okay.
it.
I
I was
said,
like,
that's
you
fine.
idiot.
Well, in all reality, I mean, I would love to have in-person interviews. I've been doing it via Zoom for over 3 years now. It was fine in the beginning when I launched it because it was still in 2020. Life was weird.
Yeah,
The
that
world
was
was
the only
weird.
thing
Yeah.
you were doing.
So, but
At least without people getting angry at you.
right. Yeah, with the whole thing. So, I am exploring opportunities where I can hopefully get something where it becomes as face to face. Because there's no better way to converse than face to face.
I'll tell you what, I mean, I don't know why I haven't even noticed it until just now. I've just been kind of focused on the conversation but I like your background there. That's cool with the brick and everything.
Oh, well, thank you. People
Well,
say that often.
I gotta get in there and see it in person. That's what we gotta do.
Well, this is the background of my bar. So right now here is the bar. So you can come over and we'll have drinks at the bar.
There you go.
I use this bar.
I'll have a root beer.
Okay, we'll have root beers. But I use this bar more for doing this than I do actually entertaining people.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. A lot of, people put bars in their houses and then, every once in a while they use them, but it's always, you can't live your life based around what you're going to do for other people,
Yeah.
Like I got a backyard and you know what I'm doing this summer? I'm going to till the whole thing to shreds. I don't care anymore. The whole thing's getting a garden. And I left it there so we could party. No, go party somewhere else. I'm growing tomatoes.
Yeah. So.
All right. I know we were wrapping this up.
No. I mean, Eric will tell you. We've done how many podcasts together? They've been, creeping on 2 hours. They've been over 2 hours. I think the one he had me on his with him and Andrew. Typically, they kept yours to like 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
We tried 30 minutes.
We couldn't be contained. It was like 45, 50. The camera.
We actually, so Andrew and I with our podcast have stopped we just stopped shooting video. And we just said, forget it. It's a podcast. Someone's going to listen to it on Spotify, and that kind of gives us the freedom to just keep going.
Yeah.
So on it, it's not out yet, but we did one with Ed Kuzo,
Nice.
and ended up being an hour.
Uh-oh.
So I know
An hour.
I know. Ed's a good dude though. I like him a
People are
lot.
going to turn gray listening
And
to
it-
that. A whole hour, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
One
almost-
episode of Game of Thrones.
This guy.
Yeah, we're almost at
Well,
2 hours.
here's the cool thing. I'm hoping I'm hoping a lot of the good old Union boys will, because I'll share this and whatnot, and I'm hoping they listen to this podcast because we drive to work, man, and sometimes I know. Actually, I think Alex and another gentleman by the name of Dylan Dearmont, another shout out. I think they're driving to Jersey Shore right now, and they live, like I said, up near you, and the other one's out near Harvey's Lake-ish. And they could listen to this entire podcast just driving in and back home for one day,
Right.
so
Oof.
yeah.
If they
I
don't
know
wanna
there's
listen
people
to
out
it.
there that got to take a drive sometimes, and that's why I listen to podcasts,
Yeah. Even if you don't listen to it, go follow it on Spotify, subscribe on YouTube, like the social media pages. That's all
DM
I
you
can
on
ask for.
Instagram.
Don't DM me.
Don't-
I need the clicks. I need the click. I need the follows, the
Absolutely.
likes.
We all need clicks, baby.
That's where we've come to. Please, for the love of God, just follow my page.
Don't put him down.
Well, Brady, man, congrats on the album.
Yeah, I can't
Title-
wait for the next one.
Title on that is Aria?
Aria.
Aria.
So anyone watching or listening, you can find that on Spotify and all the streaming services. Brady's got stuff for sale. You can actually buy a physical copy. How can they do that? At a show? Do they DM
Pretty much
you?
just a show. Maybe I'll do a website. I'm trying to keep a low profile from the federal government. So I kind of
Right.
just blew up my spot by saying that even. But
No one's watching. Yeah. Don't worry about it.
I can't. Trust me, they have like 60,000 IRS agents now. I heard with
They do.
Glocks, so they're probably listening to everything.
All right.
But anyway, yeah, I think eventually maybe after the nuke, after the outage, when I kind of try to refocus on this stuff, maybe I'll put together a website, or maybe I'll just throw it up on eBay. I don't know. But shows, come to a show, because if you come to a show, not only can you get the CD for $15 with 11 songs on it, only 10 are available streaming. You're gonna get 2 more albums played live for you,
And unedited Brady.
and unedited me.
That's a scary. That is a scary thing.
Yeah. Cell phone use is not prohibited. Do whatever you want. Put me on TikTok. I don't care. I'm not making a TikTok or an Instagram, but you can make an Instagram for me. Come to every show and take pictures of my stupid face.
This is why people tag you on Instagram.
Whatever.
And they can't tag you.
They do
He's
it.
such an old man.
They can do it themselves if they want it.
Here's the
Come
problem, Brady.
get me.
You know what? We're doing this, right? And
Yep.
you're going to share it on your Facebook page, but you've got no
That's
Instagram.
as far as I'll go.
But he
'cause
can't tag you.
I have to do a little
I can't
bit.
tag you. I'll get none of your followers coming over to my side.
I don't know
Yeah,
what
see,
to
it's
tell
just
you.
because he's a jerk.
I don't know what to
Way
tell
to
you.
go. Thanks a lot. bud.
Well, that's why I was really happy we released the music video for Shickshinny on Ryan's page and not my Facebook, because he was like, "What do you want to do? Do you want to like put it on YouTube and then you share it?" And I was like, "No, I didn't even pay you. We need to release it on your page, so
yeah,
any kind of traffic is drawn to that." And I mean, I think at last look it was like over 60,000, bunch load of shares, which I should take the time to thank everyone individually, which would take a good bit of time. But every single person that shares that stuff, thank you. Thank you so much. That means a lot. I would rather, quote unquote, market myself that way than any other way. So just tell your friends. It's word of mouth. Go outside. Go to a show. Let's get back to,
the roots.
how we were 20, 30, 40, 60 years ago. I don't know. Be like me. Just be old with me. Be old with me. That's what I'm trying to say. Be old with me.
Cancel the internet. And if those 60,000 people who shared that video can go on my page and subscribe to my YouTube channel,
That would be great.
please,
You know?
little.
Hey, you know what? Honestly, out of that whole video, I think I got like 100 subscribers on YouTube for all those views and all the stuff. It's like
Hard.
100.
It's hard.
I think for music, that's usually the case, though. I mean, you
Yeah.
go on anybody's like music page, unless it's, I don't know, somebody like Taylor Swift or Post Malone or something. It's usually they're just searching the songs they want to hear it.
Yeah.
They don't really care. This is the subscribe part of it.
Yeah.
So that don't mean nothing to me. I appreciate
what it
all
is.
you equally. Those of you that are and are not subscribed. But if you are subscribed, you'll get the next music video, which I assure you, I will pay Ryan this time, and it will be great.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you again. I appreciate your time. I know it's not ideal. It's late on a weeknight. We've all got work and kids and stuff to do. So I really do appreciate your time.
Well, thank you. And so do you. And I actually only have half of that stuff. So if anybody is given their time, it's you two. So thank you two for having me. Thank you, Eric, for providing your studio, your wonderful cameras, your wonderful microphones. Thank you, Mr. Popko, for having me on. If I see your brother, I'll give him a wave. But
Yeah, give him a
like I
wave.
said, for somehow, some way, I don't see him that often, even just being right down the road. But
He was one
for
of
your
the people
parents, at least, I don't know who's actually over there anymore. But
Yeah.
you told me. Never mind.
Well, they're all still there in the vicinity.
Yep. But I can't
Yeah.
say good enough things. I wish I had a prepared statement. So I guess we'll just have to leave it at.
We'll leave it
Thank
at
you
that.
very much, you bucktooth mountain clowns. It's been a pleasure.
Well, hopefully I'll see you at a show. I mean, let's try
thing.
and make that happen.
The first show will be at the VFW in Shickshinny. I will post the date on my Facebook page.
What is that? Just in case this comes out after the fact.
Like roughly, I think it's May 19th.
Oh,
I'm
we'll
not
be
looking
good.
at a calendar, so don't hold me to it. But
We'll
I
be good.
think that's the day.
All right. Pay attention for May. So.
Yep. It's when it's all happening, baby.
Cool.
We're gonna get wild.
Well, guys, thank you very much. When I hit stop, stick around for like 2 seconds. But yes, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Later.